Yeah, so a snippet for all the fans. So if you look at the bottom of the sneaker, or you looking at the bottom of the picture on the website, that is my Philly ties. So if you think about what's a Philly tie that has a slice in it, the Liberty Bell, the
Mm,
Liberty Bell,
right. Absolutely.
the crack in it. It's a crack in the soul. So that's how we kind of broke that down. So that way, I still had that Philly tie. It's connected to the shoe.
Gotcha. Because at first I thought it was like a river leading
Hmm.
to like an ocean. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. I like that, the
Uh,
Liberty Bell crack. I like that.
Hey, ALG, one more thing I want to point out on you about your sneakers that I think that's real. That's gonna be a real hit. Is it look like it has great ankle support, bro?
we've had it in a couple kids high school programs here in Baton Rouge, a couple other programs as well, worn them. And some of the kids are like, man, like it's just too high, man, like I don't like it. But it's like that's good for ankle support because a lot of kids twist their ankles a lot, you know what I mean, especially nowadays.
Yep.
And so that's why we went to the low this year to be able to break that down. So that way, if the kids want to have an option of like, a big man, they can wear the mid cut, and a guard can wear the low cut. So that's where we've kind of made the difference of like, hey, look, let's give them options, let them let them choose, and then we go from there.
Look, that's the first sign of a great businessman.
Hoop Dreams, the podcast, an Unlearning Network production.
I'm excited about this one today, man. Listen, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna give you, LG, my typical intro, but I want to start this one a little different today because, first of all, I just want to jump out and just say, man, you are the prototype for all the kids out there, man, that need to believe in their dreams, believe in their self, seeing it come to pass, staying the course, not getting off track. So I want to start this one out by saying, joining us today, and not just a man, but the man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Come on, he's a native down there. He played 4 years. I got to give him some love on this, Agee, because he went to St. Joseph College. I know I ain't go to St. Joseph College, but I went to St. Joseph High School, so we are already in the same brotherhood. Earning Atlanta 10 all-rookie team honors and first team all-Atlantic 10 honors in his senior season. He finished as the school's second-time all-leading scorer behind the one and only Jameer Nelson. Come on, that means that brother was getting some buckets. Buckets, Agee. He finished, ready for this? As the all-time three-point leader. Played 7 seasons in the year in the league. Knicks, Pelicans, Kings, Pistons, Suns, Nets, and Bucks, and was named to the all-rookie second team. And not only is he a baller, but he's also an entrepreneur. Oh, I'm loving this. Started his own clothing brand. I ain't say line, brand. Ethics, a sneaker and clothing brand, which just dropped its second shoe, the LG2. Gotta get it. We love to welcome to the Hoop Dreams podcast, the one and only, Mr. LG himself, Langston Galloway. I'm Will Gason. That's my dog.
Arthur Agee. Langston, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm glad to be a part of it. Glad to talk about talk.
Man, that's what it's going to be today, talking about talk. But LG, we always got to open the show up this way because since this is the Hoop Dreams podcast, we just got to ask you, man, have you seen the movie?
I have seen the movie. It's been a long time, but I have seen the movie.
And your thoughts? I know I'm taking you back. Yeah, we're going back to 1994.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna say because my son right now he's about to turn 5, and I've been trying to take him back with a lot of old school movies and trying to teach him the game. He knows a little bit about basketball. He's watched Space Jam. He watched the old Space Jam, but now he's starting to understand a little bit more. So I'm gonna take him back. Just school him about what all the history of basketball. Above the rim, you have hoop dreams. Just a number of nostalgic videos that I grew up watching as a kid because I was
Mm-hmm.
when Hoop Dreams came out, I was 3. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a
That's
while,
crazy.
but yeah, it's one of those nostalgic movies that you'll never forget. Something that's just legendary. Because
Yeah.
as a kid for me, I was a big hooper. That's all I knew. Since the age of 3, I've been hooping, and so that's all I knew. That's all I knew.
Wow.
We'll take that. Well, um, this podcast show, we're a little bit different. I know we call it the Hoop Dreams podcast, but truthfully, man, for all of our guests, it's your podcast. So this is really the Langston Galloway podcast. So we want to know, man, your origin story.
Yeah.
Talk to us about growing up in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. Describe your neighborhood. What was it like?
Yeah, growing up in Baton Rouge, and I tell people that I grew up in 2 places because most people are like, man, well, first, hey, you don't have an accent. Why you don't have an accent? So I grew up in Baton Rouge, but I also grew up in Philly. Like those are my 2 homes.
Mm.
And so my mom was from Philly, the whole family's from Philly, so I grew up there. So those 2 places like really raised me. And so in Baton Rouge, it's a small city, but it has that big city vibe where you get out the mud. You find ways to in your neighborhood find a park or find a gym, and you just get it
Mm-hmm.
in. You know what I mean? We always played up. I was always one of those kids that was the youngest kid out there. Didn't know I was the youngest kid out there, but I was just hooping with everybody that was on the court. It didn't matter if it was same age or grown men. It didn't matter. So I was just out there hooping, having a good time. And the same thing when I going to Philly, like all my cousins are all older than me. I have one younger cousin, but everybody was older than me. So, I had to try to catch up. I had to always be, the little guy on the block until it was time for me to, hey, show out and really be the best me that I could be. And so I would say that's the biggest thing for me growing up. I've always been like the young kid on the block that's always just had to fight and scratch and claw, to get it however I can.
Mm.
So that's my origin story of just from the basketball side of things. But from the other side of it, just anything off the court, just taking it one day at a time. Seeing my parents. I had a 2-parent household. I was truly blessed, to be able to watch my parents. Go to work every single day, work their butts off to provide for myself. Both my older brothers were gone at the time, so they weren't in the picture because my one brother's 9 years older than me, my other brother's 19 years older than me, so they really weren't in the picture. But from the sense of like, every single day getting up, whether that be 4 a.m., drop my dad off at work, or him going to work, seeing him getting up,
Mm-hmm.
and just grinding, putting food on the table, making sure we was fed. And so that was one piece that I always remembered, that I'm gonna find a way to make it happen for my family, no matter if that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm gonna find a way to make sure I put food on the table for my family, be a provider, and be able to just take it one day at a time, because you can't look too far. You can't look too far.
Yeah.
You can't look at the future. You can't look behind you. You got to just take it one day at a time. You got to take it in that moment, and get it how you live. So that's really my motto at all times.
Yo, L, did you like as a kid, did you gravitate to the game on your own just by playing sports, or did somebody introduce you to the game?
I really just gravitated towards it. My my dad, he used to watch all the NBA games. When NBC when the games were on NBC, ABC,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and man, I remember I could still vividly hear the intro coming on, and AI playing against Orlando Magic, and because like I said, the Philly ties, like I was always like locked in with Philly. The Sixers, wanted to see them
Mm-hmm.
play and see AI because he was my favorite player growing up. And
Mm.
so then going into Michael Jordan as well, like at the time, like just watching him knock down these big shots in clutch moments. And as a kid, you as soon as the game's over, you go outside and try to practice those shots and try to hit that last second shot. You counting down 5, 4, 3, 2,
Mm-hmm.
1, and bang, you're trying to hit that game winner. So those are memories that always stick with me. And the game just, it always came natural. It was never like a force. I never was forced to play. My parents never just said, "Hey, look, what do you want to do today? You want to go work out? And I was already going. I was going. I'm trying to get to the gym before anybody else. So I always had that mindset, and to this day, like it's kind of changed where I've learned and accustomed to, now I have a son and I have a daughter, and so my mindset now is like, hey, look, I'm gonna always work out before they wake up, and that was kind of once my son was born. I was like, hey, I'm gonna just be a 5 a.m. guy. Like I have to work out at 5 a.m. every morning, knowing that once he wakes up, which is probably around 6:37, I can be home, get him ready, and get him on with his day. So that's kind of been my whole motto of like ever since then. Like, hey, how do I continue to create that narrative for him, knowing that, hey, look, my dad's going to work every single day, no matter feeling good, not feeling good, no matter what time I'm going to bed. To just, hey, you got to get up the next morning and put your pants on and get back to work.
Absolutely. But who put that ball in your hand? Like my older brother, he put that ball in my hand. Who put that ball in your hand?
I mean, my pops and like I said, my cousins, like I had my whole family is all like basketball, football, like soccer, like everybody's kind of in the sports. And so I played everything. There was not one sport that I was just like, hey, like, I'm gonna shy away from this because being in Louisiana, like football is king down here, so everybody played football, and so that was like one sport that I gravitated towards as well. Like I played that any chance I could. I was playing football with my playing pick up the stick. Any game that made sense for us, I was always playing that. But then basketball.
Man, what position did you play football though? What were you?
I was a wide receiver and free safety. So
man, you weren't better than me as a wide receiver.
How many touchdowns you had in your career? How many touchdowns?
Man, I TO you, man, every time, man.
No way, man. Ain't no way, man. You ain't got no hands.
Hey, let me tell you something. Ain't got no hands. I go get it. I'm gonna just say, throw my body in the air. Say, go get killed.
Hey, look. All I say is, I used to go get that thing. I don't care. Offense, defense, it didn't matter. They throw it in my vicinity. They used to throw away from me. Like I was playing free safety, and look, every time I played free safety, like when they did throw my way, I was going to get it. I was trying to get an interception. But whenever they went the other side, or like I was open, man. You talk about that coach here, a mouthful of me, boy. I'd be upset, boy, because I feel like nobody on the field better than me. But it is what it is. To this day, I got friends that I wish you would have played more. Man, look, I just say, it is what it is. I could have I feel like pursued, college football, but basketball is my number one thing. I love basketball, and that was the main thing. I wanted to keep the main thing.
Hey, L, that's the two things I kind of don't like now, because back then when we was growing up, we loved to play everything. Like I played baseball, football, and basketball.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I played and it wasn't nothing. Like it was two things while you play other sports and you love one sport. Like football and baseball, I liked it to be around my friends.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? It was that thing too. And then it was also challenging yourself in that sport. Like, let me see if I can really play this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's how it was for me. But my first love was basketball and playing outside on the playground, basketball.
Yep.
Like they don't do that no more now.
Nope.
That's where you had to go get your stripes from and get your name out there on the playground. Wasn't no wood first.
Nope.
You had to go up against that grown dude right there, 25 years old, and you 15, 16.
Yep. I remember, look, growing up, so everybody in my neighborhood was older than me, but they didn't know that. I was just another kid, everybody thought I was the same age. So as time kind of went on, everybody got to high school and everybody's like, I'm going this high school, I'm going that high school. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And everybody's like, well, what high school you going to next year? I was like, man, I'm going to the 6th grade, man. So they was like, what? Like 6th grade? You know what I mean? So that's just how old everybody was compared to me. You know what I mean? I was
wow.
I was going to 5th grade. I don't remember what age, but like even like throughout my time, like I used to play 7th grade basketball and in middle school basketball. And we had like two kids on our team that was 8th graders about to go to 9th grade, and so you could have like one or two guys that like their age kind of fit the gap, and you could put them on a team. And so every time we played, the coaches on the other team be like, all right, man, y'all playing with older dudes, man. Like they shouldn't be playing. They shouldn't be playing. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like not thinking nothing of it because I'm like, I'm the same age as everybody else. I don't know what he's talking
Yeah.
about. But
Right.
then they challenged us, said, all right, well, you got to take off the two older guys. So we took the two older guys off, and then we still in the court. And the coach is like, no, these are the two older guys on the court. He's like, nah, we just we still here. We just good. That's all it is. We've been doing this. So it's just funny how growing up playing against the older kids is always panned out for me. It's always helped me. And to this day, like my son, like that's all he does. Like he plays soccer right now. We haven't put him in basketball yet, but whenever the time does come and he wants to play basketball, I'm like, hey, look, we playing up, man. Like we're not playing the same age. And I'm gonna throw him out there to say, hey, look, you gotta play with the older kids. You gotta be physical.
Yeah.
You gotta go out there and like you said, earn them stripes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, listen, man, I know they call you LG. Was that always your nickname, or did you have another nickname that?
No, LG's normally stuck. People LG, life's good. They would refer to that. I would always, just be cordial with it. I wouldn't really, make nothing of it. I've had a couple coaches call me LGZ. They call me that as well. That's really it, though.
From the playground when they sixth grader out there playing with high school kids.
Yeah, no,
they say
really
phenom or.
Nah. My coaches used to make fun of. He used to make fun of me like in a good but a bad way. But like, oh, you're an 8th grade McDonald's All-American. I'm like, all right, dog, whatever. You know what I mean? So, it just it is what it is. But nah, we never really had nicknames like anywhere I went. Like I just I just played. They just like, man, this young kid. They always call me young kid. Hey, this young kid can play, man. That was it.
I love it. Hey, listen, man, we want to jump into your high school. You went to Christian Life Academy.
Yep.
Tell us about, or tell our listeners, a little about the basketball history there.
Yeah, no, when I got there, well, I'll tell you this. So the guys that have came before me that went to my school, Michael Clayton, we had Stephon LaFleurs. We had a number of like players that played in the NFL that were, big significant roles. They, had big significant roles throughout their careers. And so my time came, and I was, like I said, I was a young kid. I made the varsity team as an 8th grader.
Damn.
And so I didn't think much of it. I just was out there just hooping, just playing. And there was a couple games where throughout my high school career, throughout my 8th grade year, where I was able to play, on the varsity level. Had some good games, scored, 5 to 10 points at the time, 8th grader. So, not knowing if I was going to get in the game or not, I just was out there. We had a lot of old upperclassmen. I learned from them. I just was in the gym every single day, just playing, playing against them, learning, picking up the knowledge, gaining more and more wisdom. And so as time went on, 9th grade, well, referring back, we ended up winning 4 state championships out of 5. So I lost my junior year. That was my only year I lost, which it happened to one of my best friends at the time. God rest his soul. He ended up passing away. But it's just it's crazy. Like throughout my career, we had a really talented team, and just so many stories. My 9th grade year really had a really good year. 10th grade year, I think we only lost two games the whole season. Junior year, we had another good junior. We had a good junior year, but it wasn't the best. I think we went like 36-9 or something, like 36-8 or something like that. And then my senior year, we ended up losing like 4 or 5 games. So throughout my whole high school career, I might have lost, at the max 20 games, like out of all my games. So we won a lot of games and we lost a few. So I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Let me ask you something. You didn't understand the concept of how good you was as an 8th grade playing on varsity? That didn't register to you because you and William Gates is the only one who are childhood prodigies who have the skill to come out of 8th grade and just go right to varsity. Oh, forget the freshman and sophomore team. Oh, he's that good as an 8th grader. I had to play on the freshman team.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't understand that concept of how good you was, and then you say you was just out there playing. What you mean you just out there playing? Like, what are you talking about? You playing with upperclassmen and you just out there like, what was your confidence at? It had to be like,
Yeah, nah, I never really thought about like the confidence and nothing like that. I just was, like I said, just playing. Like I didn't have anything to lose. Like, you know, other guys they playing for scholarships and all this, that, and the third. I was out there playing for the fun of it, you know, for the fun of the game and just wanted to win really. And so after my eighth grade season, you know, going into my ninth, that's when I think at the time you could start getting recruited at that point. And I remember or it might have been before that, but either way, you know, going into that's one of those summers, you know, I had 2-3 offers already on the table from like different schools. Baylor was the first school to offer me. I think LSU offered me around that time as well. A couple other like schools around the area, Louisiana, Southeastern, UNO, like they all had offered me already. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, I got a scholarship. I didn't know anything about it. I just like, hey, cool. I got a scholarship. But as time went on, and you know, the Prodigy name really didn't stick with me because I didn't, you know, Louisiana's not like I said, not known for basketball. And so
right.
if I was in a different state, it might have blown up. Like, you know what I mean? I would have blown up. But we had the one other kid that played as eighth grader, but he actually like was a starter, scored the ball in bunches, which was Tweety Carter. He went to Baylor. He had a hell of a career. But yeah, no, we really just made the most of the opportunity. You know, when I got a chance to go, like I said, go up to Philly and play against those kids up there, that was a whole different ball game because it's just a different mentality. Like how Philly ballers are, you know, they carry themselves like, hey, I'm the best on the court, and you know, I'm out there. You know, I was a cool, calm, and collected kid. I wasn't like flashy and flamboyant, nothing like that. But I just was out there. I'm gonna just come out here and just, hey, I'm
Okay.
here to dominate you. But like, you know, I didn't have that flashiness that Philly guys had, so I had to learn that over time. And I think that now, you know, as time has went on, I've gained that and learned how to be that. But at that time, I just was, like I said, just a hooper. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know, you know, the ins and outs of how, you know, how to carry yourself. But
Okay,
over
so let
time.
me ask you this. So when you get to Philly and you see a whole different side of this Philly, of this game and the Philly style, the way they play, who came at you out on the court, on the playground, or in one of them pro-ams? Who was like, well, you was like, damn, it's like this? I'm going to have to check. I'm going to have to step my game up on that. I ain't backing down from this motherfucker.
Yeah. We ran. Well, I had a lot of battles. Dion Waiters was one guy.
What?
Jesse Morgan was another guy.
What? What you just say? Dion Waiters.
Yeah, Dion Waiters, Lou Will, Evan Turner, who else? Kyle Lowry. I mean, the list goes. John Salmons. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like there was so many guys that I ran into, like just in Philly, that you know they all thought I was from Philly. Like that was how it was. Like people would just say, "Oh, what school you go to in Philly?" I'm like, I mean, I go to school in Louisiana. They'd be like, "What? Like, why you don't go to school in Philly?" But I'm just like, "Hey, look, I can't control that. You know what I mean? I'm just here just to hoop and then go back home. You know what I mean? I'm here for the summer." So.
It's just a hoop.
Yeah. So yeah, now that's really where, you know, I got like that I don't know. I feel like I gained that dog and I gained that mentality of just like every single day, just going and get it. Like, you know, I got to get it anywhere I can. And I feel like, you know, being in Philly really taught me that and gave me that kind of sense of like, okay, all right, you know, I'm here. I'm here to go get it.
That's what kids need today. That type of shit right there. Not that AAU stuff. They need to be getting that right there.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this. Keeping it where it's at. What was that game that you knew that I'm next level? I'm like everybody got that game when, like we talked to Juwan Howard and so many other people. Everybody had that game that you gave it to that guy and you knew you were special. What was that for you?
I'm trying to think. Trying to think. Like I said, the programs that I played in growing up, probably the Kyle Lowry game, playing against him. We were out there playing in I want to say Chester. No, it wasn't Chester. It was Cheney University. We played there. It was Kyle Lowry, Hakeem Warwick, Skinny, and a couple other guys. And I had what's his other name? Thompson. I forgot it. I forgot his first name. But I think that was one of those games where I had just came in town, playing in pro-am. I'm still a high schooler playing against pros, and I had a big game. And I remember like all my family was like all in uproar because it was in the paper. I didn't think nothing of it because I'm in Philly. Like I'm not looking at no papers, but they all found the paper and they all showing me. All my family like, well, hold up, if you're doing this, and well, maybe you it's just like that started to gain the trust of my family because they didn't know. Like I'm all the way in Louisiana playing high school, summertime. I'm traveling, playing pro-ams, doing different things, and at that moment, I think. Because my uncle, that's also another piece of how I got to St. Joe's as well. He was assistant coach at Drexel at the time, and which is Jeff Arnold. And then Jeff Arnold, he ended up leaving there and going to St. Joe's my junior year in high school. So that kind of like transferred him to like, okay, like I'm gonna need you to come over here with me. But yeah, that like I said, my 8th grade year, high school, going into my freshman year, my uncle, he was out in Vegas and really saw me play for the first time, like on a national scale. Like we were playing like this Adidas Super 64 or something like that. And I might have hit like 10 threes in one game. And I think he called my parents because my parents told me afterwards, and he called him and was like, hey, look, y'all ain't going to worry about college. It's going to be taken care of. Like, you're going to be just fine. And I was like, all right, well, hey, this is where we at. So, hey, now we just got to build from here. And that's surely what I did.
Dang.
You gotta love that, man. I'm glad you brought up something too. You said you went to St. Joe's because I wanted to ask you that, man. How did you get to St. Joe's? Because you tell us you got Baylor, you got all these basically Power 5 schools, and not to mention the fact all of those mid-major programs. I mean, Louisiana is kind of like a hub for you got so many schools right there. As a matter of fact, the Southland Conference is really that beltway is. For all those schools. What was it though about? I mean, besides your family being there, what was it about St. Joe's that drew you there?
From the sense of knowing that Jameer Nelson, Delonte West had went to St. Joe's, that was a huge like piece of that. Like I remember my recruitment there. They kept calling me with them on the phone and let me talk to them. The program was kind of, I wouldn't say it was in shambles, but it was kind of like on the uprise. Like we were trying to figure it out. I didn't know, what to expect. Like you said, I had a ton of different schools. Like I had coaches flying in, like Texas A&M, Mark Turgeon, man, that's one of my guys right there. He used to fly in just to see me practice. Like he would like fly in from Texas on a PJ just to see me practice and then fly out right after that and go back to Texas. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. So, and then the number of like, letters that I received, and like I said, the number of offers I had. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was truly. I enjoyed the whole process. I just wish that the only thing that I wish I would have done differently was just drag the process out a little longer to help more of my teammates get bigger offers, because most of my teammates like they got some good offers, but like they didn't get the offer that I wanted them to get. Like I wanted all of my guys to get like high D1 offers, or at least like get a better shot to really like show themselves in the big time tournaments. But once I committed after my junior year, because they had St. Joe's was already like filling up with roster spots and all that going forward, and I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have waited a little longer just to drag it out. But yeah, getting up to St. Joe's, like. That was a big piece. Jameer and Delonte being two guards that, kind of made a big push for St. Joe's. My family was another piece. My grandmother had never seen me play, so for her to see me play was huge. And then also too, Phil Martelli, like that was another piece that really made a big difference of him seeing me play.
What was it like, man? Because we want to jump into your college years, man. What was it like that first day, though? I mean, I know you took a campus visit, but what was it like that first day You're now a registered student. You're a student athlete. What was day one like for you?
Got to campus, got moved in, and literally like we put our bags down. Everybody's sitting in the room because we had 5 incoming freshmen. We all sitting there. We was like, "What y'all trying to do?" We was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Man, I wonder if the gym open." So all of us just literally just grabbed our stuff, grabbed our workout stuff, and walked to the gym to see if it was open. It was open, and we was hooping. We literally like that was it. Like we didn't care about nothing else but hooping. Like yeah, like school was important, but we were just ready to hoop. And so we got a couple shots up, and then got right into one. So I really enjoyed like the class that we came in with. Everybody was big competitors, wanted to be the best that they could be, and we just built from there. Starting from ground zero right there.
Now, did your whole class stay? Because see, I came in with 5. It was 5 of us too when I came in, and it's funny how to hear you say that. It was the exact same thing, man. We got on campus, we unpacked, and we all went straight to the gym. But in my class, my question for you is: did your whole 5? Did everybody stay, or did some kids transfer out?
So we had all 5. All 5 finished the first year. One ended up leaving, and then when we got to junior year, another one ended up declaring for the draft. And so it was just the last 1, 2, 3, last 3. But then we added somebody else that got transferred in with this, and so we finished with him, and he was in our class then. So basically, we finished with 4 out of the 6. So that was really what happened.
That's all right, there, man. That's all
Yep.
right. So, you played for a famous coach.
Yep.
Man, tell what it was like playing for Coach Martelli, man. Give us the rough on him.
Yeah, it was amazing. He really pushed me to the limit with a lot of different scenarios because he put the ball in my hands from day one and said, "Hey, look, you're gonna make plays for us. You're gonna be the guy." And so that was the main thing that I wanted. It was just an opportunity to go ahead and showcase myself and prove to not to myself, but more so to the people around me, because everybody was like, "Man, why are you going to St. Joe's? Like that's a little school," and they all they frowned upon St. Joe's. And so to take everything that I had and up in Lee, Louisiana, and go up to Philly and learn from him and legendary coach, and him push me to the limit and maximize my talent. It was truly a dream come true, really. I mean, because out of everybody I grew up with, everybody that I played with in college, like nobody thought that I'd be the one to make it to the pros. Nobody did. I put it plain and simple, just because of my size, because I can score the ball, but I'm not the biggest, I'm not the tallest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the shiftiest. But I just knew that, hey, look, this thing on my chest and the way it beats, it wasn't going to stop me from getting where I wanted to get. And so I just, every single day, I just say, busting my ass to know that, hey, I'm a sacrifice as much as I can and put my best foot forward and make the most of it. So that's
them battles in college against Villanova, Temple, Penn, all them things, prepared you, huh?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, those are legendary battles. I mean, everybody that I'm trying to think of how many guys. I mean, if I had to think back, it probably was at least 10 to 15 guys that made it to the NBA, or made it in the tryouts at least for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all my 4 years at St. Joe's, and then professionally, I mean, it probably was 40 guys, 50 guys at the max that all went and played professionally. Like maybe not in the league, but they played professionally. So there was a ton of dudes that came out of Philly in those years that all played professional.
How did you feel about your last year at St. Joseph, getting ready to come out? Did you doubt yourself? Did you say, "Oh, damn, I ain't had a season that I wanted to have to get able to get drafted"? How did you handle that? What was your mindset?
No, I actually my senior year, I probably had the best year that I could have had. I mean, shot the lights off the ball, shot the cover off the ball. was playing really well. Led the team to Atlanta championship. We won a championship. Getting to the tournament. We accomplished everything. We should have beat UConn in that first round. We ended up losing. I missed a game-winning shot to win it. And that still sticks with me to this day. That will never leave my mind. But
what was you at on the floor
I
when you
was
shot
on the
it?
right side. It was a pull up. I was like in between like either bank shot or just like a regular shot, and just not in the right spot, and missed it like little right. It bounced like off the rim short. Yeah, tough one. But yeah, I just I really think that I got everything out. I put everything on the table after my senior year. It just sucked at the time that I came out. Probably now. Well, I won't even say now. Probably like 4 or 5 years ago, they were like, "Hey, look, we need seniors. We need older upperclassmen, guys that understand how to play, can come right in, fit the offense, and be the best. Be the best player for us." But at the time when I came out, 7, 8 years ago, now it's 9 years ago. It was like more so like, hey, I was a dinosaur coming out, and that was the one like low ball that they always like stuck with me. They was like, hey, look, he's a dinosaur. He's been all 4 years. Everybody in his class is uber athletic. Not they really have nobody in the class that could shoot the ball, like shoot the cover off the ball, other than like Kyrie and no, Kyrie didn't come out my year. He came out a couple years before me. Who else was in my class? They had Zach LaVine and a couple other guys. But yeah, it's just like a lot of guys that all were just taller than me, faster, all that. So that was the biggest thing for me. Like, like I said, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the tallest. I blend right in. I blend in with the average crowd. So that's where they kind of put me. They labeled me as that. I went from college to going to Portsmouth, which is the all senior class. All seniors playing in the top. Was it the top 60? Yes, top 60 seniors in the class. Had a heck of a tournament in there. Got a couple interviews, couple pre-draft workouts set up from there. Played well all my pre-draft. Didn't do as many as a lot of guys do. A lot of guys, they'll do like 16 to 20 pre-draft workouts. I did 7. Like I said, played well in all 7. And then from there, just, I would just say, look, let's figure it out. Let's see, talking to my agent, trying to figure out, hey, what's the best situation for me? What team? Not saying they need me, but in the sense of like, hey, how can I prove myself and go out there and showcase myself in front of these different scouts and these different people? And so, New York was kind of up and building. They were trying to figure out the direction of which way they were going, and I was like, hey, look, let's go that path.
Agee and I got this thing, man, we call halftime. We want to hit you with some quick hitters really quick.
Okay.
First one I want to throw at you. Actually, Agee, why don't you throw the first question at him?
Your 3 toughest college stadiums you played in?
Richmond, VCU, and the Palestra. Go to Palestra.
Listen, a lot of folks just don't know, man. In that little Philly area, like there's a whole bunch of schools right there, man. I can't even imagine all the battles that y'all were going through, man. That's crazy. Give me the 3 toughest players you had to guard in college.
I'm drawing a blank on the name. So we have, I can't think of his name right now, but it was a short point guard that played for Richmond. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He always gave me trouble. I always struggle with smaller guards that right underneath me. He was one. Chaz Williams was another one that went to UMass. And then the third one, I'll probably go Ramon Moore that went to Temple. Was another one that was real tough for me. Those three guards were tough for me. And I put a fourth up there was Mark Lyons. Mark Lyons, another tough one. Mark Lyons, yeah, he was Xavier. He went to Xavier.
All right, your 3 toughest guys you had to guard in your pro career.
Kyrie, Russ, and Steph. Those are three toughest.
Ooh, just a night, just some night work. That's all.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
The NBA, man, at the guard position, I say hands down is the toughest position out of any position. I mean, yeah, like they have other positions that are tough, but it's just every single night you have, it don't matter what team you're on, you're gonna face the best guard on, in the world, really. I mean, you think about, I went through stretches where I would play Russ one night, then CP3 the next night, then I play Kyrie the following night. It's just like night after night, you just hitting, boom, boom, boom. It's just like you just got to be ready to hoop,
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, since you're a sneaker guy, what are your top 5 sneakers of all time?
Top 5 of all time, I would go. Number 1 is He Got Game 13s. Number 2, I'll just throw some Heat just to throw it out there. I go the Encore for 4s. That's the Eminem Encore 4s. I'll probably go the Grammy 3s. Number 4, I would go the Derek Jeter 11s, suede. And then last but not least, I'll probably go to LeBron. I think they're the 6s or 7s, Stewie Griffin pair. Those are my top 5.
Oh, wow. All right.
Okay, just so you know, Will got Pat Ewing shoes. Number one in his. Will got the Ewings and shit.
Hey, look. I never got a chance to cop any Ewings because I can't wear the Ewings. Like, I don't wear any other brand but Ethics now. But I couldn't rock them.
LG, don't listen to that boy. He know I wear Pro Kids. Don't listen to that dude.
What's in Langston Galloway's playlist? Give me your top 5 tracks or artists.
Right now, you're talking about during the season.
Right now, what you right now?
What's coming on?
Yeah, right now it's different. It's real relaxed right now because it's off season.
Is your mode?
It's like her. It's you got her, SVA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. Dang, who else? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on other artists that I've been listening to. 6 Black. Well, 6 it was Black.
Oh man, if you don't say Cassidy, he gonna ban you from Philly.
Cassidy. Well, I ain't listening to rap right now. I'm listening to all R&B right now. all relaxed music. All relaxing music.
All relaxed music.
Yeah, all relaxed music. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's. I mean, I got some other ones in there, but yeah, no, it's all relaxing music right now. R&B, all the new R&B.
You know our buddy William here, he a jazz guy.
Okay. Well, I'm not on the jazz tip per se, but the R&B, the new school R&B. I mean, I listen to old school R&B too, but the new school R&B.
Throw you some smooth jazz in there. I'm telling you, want to relax. Listen, I used to listen to that, man, before games because I was always so hyped.
Yep.
I need to come down, man. So I used to do some smooth jazz. Now, when I say smooth jazz, see, when people think that I listen to jazz, they think I'm, that Bill Cosby, bebop, bop, bop. No, I'm like instrumental, earth, wind, and fire, smooth jazz. That's where I'm at. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at on that. Hey, man, listen, we want to thank you for doing halftime with us. We want to jump into your NBA career because I think it's one of the most fascinating careers, man, that I've ever seen of any player that's working toward their
true underdog.
Yeah, and their ultimate hoop dreams. You have this amazing career at St. Joe's. Was there any thought in your mind that you were not going to get drafted?
Like I said, there was definitely moments because the synopsis around my game was that I was a dinosaur. That was the biggest thing. And then I was a tweener. Like I was, I could play the 1, but then I could play the 2, and it kind of sucked. It sucked my whole career, really. I mean, because I shoot the ball so well that teams kind of say, "Well, we need you to space the floor," and it's like, no, I want to handle the ball. That's what I do. I handle the ball. I make plays. But they was like, well, you shoot the ball so well, we need you to be over here. And then it's like, in other teams, they're like, well, we need you to handle the ball. And I'm like, I can do that. But like, well, we've never seen you do that. So it's like, that was the hardest thing that always came up, was like, hey, that was the knock on me. That, with any player, there's always a knock on somebody. And there's always, some writers that don't know nothing about basketball, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I hated that fucking word, tweener.
Yeah.
I came out, I hated that tweener shit, man. I'm like, yo, man, I could play basketball. I could go in there and rebound with the motherfucker. I could do everything, man.
Yep.
Like, I hated that fucking tweener shit. But did you have representation coming out of college? You know what I'm saying? Working out with an agency or a trainer and all that whole bit. Did you have that?
I had a good representation, but it wasn't like where I was like at no like I am, well, no, I won't say IMG. What's the one out of Impact, like in Vegas, where everybody's all the NBA athletes that are coming out in the draft and they're playing against each other, playing shooting. They got all the all the highlight tapes. Nah, I didn't have all that. I literally just worked out at school. I stayed up at school. I didn't have. I didn't even have anywhere to stay. I actually stayed with one of my close friends, Natasha Cloud, that plays for the Mystics. They were still in school. Like, they were taking summer class. I'm like, hey, look, can I just sleep on, like, I'm gonna get a blow up mattress. I'm gonna stay on the floor in the living room and I'm gonna work out.
What?
Yep. And so I literally just stayed in the dorms with them and just worked out every single day, just in the gym. I'll leave in the morning. I would come back at nighttime. I'll be in the gym all day. I'll work out, get a little food, work out again, get a little more food, do some, lifting and all that. And then I get some more shots up and then I come back, and by that time it's nighttime and I'm trying to relax at that point. So yeah, no, I literally I remember telling them, hey y'all, I'm going to work out for such and such. And they'd be like, all right, we'll see you when you get back. You know what I mean? That was just my life. Like, that's all I cared about, was like, hey, making my dreams become a reality. And that was, that was the beginning of it.
Was there ever any, during this season, when you leave school and the draft and everything is going on, was there ever any points there was uncertainty with you that you said, you know what, I don't know?
I'd probably say the beginning, trying to learn how to, shoot with the NBA basketball. That transition probably was the hardest part, because, in the summertime, you normally you hoop with the NBA basketball with the older guys, but that year I really wasn't so much playing with the NBA guys as much. I was more so just working out. And I wish I would have played a little bit more going into the summertime, knowing, getting ready for that, just get my mind all, adjusted to that. But yeah, that probably was the best time for me, because it was the hardest. When anything gets hard in life, that's, it's gonna either break you or make you. And I think that for me, that was like, I was struggling. I was upset. The line, I feel like the line was further. It was just like, everything was just like a challenge. But I was like, hey, I was dedicated. I was going to sacrifice everything I needed to make sure that, hey, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out any way I can.
See, I always tell people when things happen like that, that means your will was stronger than whatever was, thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you stayed with it. My daddy would say you had the full armor on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, you can't nothing, no matter what I feel that's being thrown at me, depressed, trying to knock me off and make me think this way. Your will was stronger than what was thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just amazing that some people don't have that.
Yep.
What were the differences that you saw between the college game and the NBA game?
The speed changes big time. And that's what if my son gets a chance to play, and Sabrina's going to kill me because I'm saying this, but I'm going to say it. And I really think that, the way college basketball is and the way overseas is like this.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's broken down is the game overseas is more so fundamentals, understanding how to move, cut, and pass without the ball. You can pass with the ball, but, moving and cutting. Mm-hmm. When you come to college, it's more so like, hey, look, we're going to put the ball in your hands. You're going to make plays. And that's really it. Like, you're not really like, there's a couple offices like, motion and different things like that you're going to move and cut and all that. But for the most part, it's really like standardized. It's like it's not nothing that's outside the box. You kind of limit it. And
Yep.
so if my son was ever to say, hey, look, I want to play professionally, or he's good enough to play professionally, we going overseas. Like I would say that like that. I would take my son overseas and let him learn the game and play the game over there before we would go to professional ranks, or let the professional ranks teach him how to play over there, because you can learn so much from watching overseas basketball, and just on a sense of like how to play, because most of the kids, like you said about the AAU circuits and high school basketball, they're not so much teaching the kids how to play now. It's just like, hey, look, let's throw the ball out there and let's just figure it out. You're gonna figure it out,
Yep.
figure it out. But it's not like you don't see kids out there reading and reacting, pass cutting, like making plays. I mean, there's the kids here, like the kids that are very talented, yeah, like they will do that. But then, for some reason, it doesn't stick to a lot of kids. A lot of kids aren't making the transition from, hey, I'm going from here to college, and then college to the pros. It's not like an easy jump. That's not an easy jump for a lot of kids. Like, maybe some kids go from high school to the pros. That might be an easier jump, just from the sense of like, it's more freelance in high school. You kind of do a little bit more. But when you get to college, especially if you go to the wrong system, there's a lot of kids that go to, they hire these big schools, and they get put in a box and they can't break that box. And then, by that time their confidence is shot, and they just, they're a whole different player coming out of college. So that's the hard thing. That really is the hard thing for a lot of kids. But yeah, that's why I would definitely say.
Man, you need to go around the country speaking on that one. That is, we heard Ray Jackson say this, when he was on the show. He said, even for him, he said he loved Michigan. He loved his brothers. But he said, right now, I would tell any kid, go to the school that loves you, not the school that you love. And you speaking right there to that truth, because there's so many talented kids that come out of high school that go into college, but the system that they go into does not allow for their talent to be expressed for multiple reasons. One, you might have a guy that's there in front of you that's waited his turn, so the coach is going to allow that to go. Have you, throughout your career, and this is why I'm bringing this up, and I'm going to lead into this, that transition from college going into high school, going into the league, what was that like for you in terms of, because you wasn't drafted, you had to go to the G League. What was that like for you?
It actually was the best thing for me, because I got a chance to play. Like a lot of the guys that got drafted, not so much. Well, it was a lot of guys in my class that got a chance to play, like right from the jump. Like, hey, look, let's go. You top picks. But then after that, like a lot of guys sit on the bench for most of the year, or they got sent down. And so that was the biggest thing for me, like going to G League, going through trials and tribulations with a lot of different scenarios, playing, working on my game every single day, learning, what to put in my body, how to fuel my body. Like, it's just a lot of like learning pieces that you need to pick up on going forward. And then there was an instance that really like turned the corner for me. I was playing the G League. We're playing in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so we get to the hotel, which was a motel. And it was the D League at the time, not the G League. And so we get there. I'm thinking like, hey, we're going to a Marriott somewhere, whatever. I'm not tripping. We open the door, and it's like one of those rooms that you see in a horror movie, all red. You're looking around like, man, where am I at? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Like, I thought we were just in college. We staying at Marriotts. We stay in nice hotels, and then all of a sudden we staying in like a motel. Like, I'm like, hold up now. So I call back home, tell my parents, like, look, I think I don't know. This might be it. I can't make it past this. They telling me, look, this all right. It's good. Like, don't worry about it. Just keep pushing through it. You're going to make it.
Hey, man.
And then same thing with my girlfriend, wife now. Look, hey, this gonna make you right here. This gonna make you the best player you are. And I remember like saying to myself, like, look, I never want to come back here. No matter what the case is, like, hey, I'm a fight, scratch and claw, until I make my dream come true, because I never want to come back here.
And you did.
If I was your teammate on that team, I would have been like, boy, all the shit you done been through and you talking about this damn room, get your ass out of here. You gonna sleep in this room and your ass gonna go through this shit.
Man.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, man. I remember I slept in my like, you know, we flew there. I slept in my sweatpants. I didn't even change. I didn't put on slept on sweatpants.
I ain't taking shit off. You like, no.
No.
Hey,
that's wild.
I want to ask you one more NBA question, and then, man, I want to spend the rest of our time just talking about, you know, your brand, the ethics brand, because I'm in love with it. And I literally mean that. I was watching some of it on YouTube. I'm going like, okay, I need to hoop it.
What brand? Hold on. What brand you just say? Will?
Ethics. Absolutely.
It ain't anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
Hey,
is.
It ain't anywhere and everywhere.
Anywhere and
That's what it
everywhere,
say.
baby.
That's what it says.
Okay.
But I want to ask you this last question about the league, man, because throughout your career, you played with some legends.
Mm-hmm.
KD, Melo, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Kyrie, Giannis, Derrick Rose. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, Derek Fisher, Steve Nash as your coaches, Dwayne Casey. I mean, you even went to the NBA Finals with the Suns. I mean, touch on a few of those players. And that, like, for me, because Agee and I, we didn't make the league, but there's still moments I go like, man, I played against this cat in college. You know, I was, you know, this cat, you know, we was going head to head in college. Mm-hmm. Do you ever just sit back and have those moments and just like, man, I did it?
Not really. I haven't really thought about it like that. I think one day when my son gets old enough and like starts understanding, like, man, Dad, you play with. I think those would be the moments that are like kind of like set in, like, damn, I really did play with. But like, it's become the norm because my son is around all these guys, you know, on a daily basis. Like, you know, if I needed anything Melo, like I called him tomorrow and be like, yo, I need this, big bro. And, you know, he really took me under his wings. You know, every time I see him or anytime anybody, you know, that I know, he be, hey, everything good with Lang, checking in, you know, making sure everything's good. He's one of my, you know, close, you know, one of the close big bros for me. Dad Young is another big, you know, big bro of mine. He's a family friend. He's a godparent. Him and his wife are godparents to my son. Derrick Rose, like really close. Like that's like, you know, another big bro of mine. Like, you know, really close with him. I mean, I have a ton of dudes that I'm really close with, and my son comes in interaction with them, you know, on a daily basis. He doesn't know who they are. I mean, he just thinks of them as, hey, that's such and such, or that's such. You know what I mean? He doesn't know, you know, the impact and the magnitude of who they really are. So I think one day when that moment comes, when he understands that and realizes that, like, he'd be like, oh, Dan, yeah, you played with him. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, I played with him. It's crazy. And then, you know, too, like he goes in so I have you know, my own little room where, you know, I have a little man cave, and like I have all their jerseys up on the wall, and, you know, he sees the jerseys, but like I said, he doesn't understand the magnitude of like what that means. So one day I'll look back and it'll mean a lot more. But right now, just, you know, it's just a moment in time.
Hey, you know why he's saying that though, Agee?
What?
Because he ain't done yet. That's why he's saying that. He's like, I'm still hooping.
Hey, let me ask you this though. You played on many teams and with a lot of great players. I mean some nice players. Mm-hmm. Who was that vet for you that took you under their wing?
Yeah, Melo's one. I'm trying to think who else. Man, it's been a lot. Melo, I probably say Melo. Melo's been like, I was there for 2 years with Melo, and I learned the most from him. He kind of took me under his wings and really taught me a lot of the game, and taught me, like, you know, a lot of different things that I never would have thought I would have learned at that magnitude of time. And you know, I just had a great time. You know, great time learning from him, and you know, being there, and like to see his son. You know, see Kyan. I remember when Kyan was super small. When I was there. Now to see him in high school and he's blowing up now, like that's pretty cool. It's crazy to see full circle. You know how it all works.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that, man. Well, listen, man, we want to jump into your entrepreneurship. You're doing big things with your ethics brand, which folks y'all need to know stands for grateful, determination, hard work, motivated, focused, and fearless. I mean, the concept is amazing. My question for you is, man, you're a sneakerhead. I mean, clearly, you're a sneakerhead because you don't do sneakers if you ain't a sneakerhead. So you're a sneakerhead. But how did it come about, and what inspired you to start your own shoe business?
The main thing that I really wanted to really focus on was, hey, look, there's a untapped market from creating something for the players that, go under the radar, like, myself, the underdogs. We call them, from our brand, unconventionals. Not the normal, day-to-day guys that about, the guys that kind of, they work their tails off, they do their roles to the best of their abilities, and they make a good living for their family, they take care of themselves. And so that's what I look at as, like, hey, the unconventionals. And so as time has went on and how we built, we wanted to create something that was different from the sense of nostalgic pieces of the past. Like when I grew up, the basketball era, it was all about cutting soles. It was all about, great product that was with cushioning, and it felt good on the foot. It made sure that, you was stable. Everything was locked in. It was like more so about the quality, not the quantity. And so I think that as time has went on, things have changed. It's more so about quality. About quantity over quality now. And so that's been our biggest focus, is like, hey, how do we create something that, like I said, is a cut and sew shoe? I've been vegan for the past coming up on 6 years. How do we create something that is like an organic product that is sustainable? It's something that's great in the in the space of where we live at. Like our footprint isn't a big footprint. And then thirdly, I've dealt with plantar fasciitis. I've dealt with like stress fracture in my foot my whole life. And so I wanted to have a shoe where it was a lot of cushioning, a lot of like built-in stability, built-in absorption of when you're landing on the court. This shoe is going to brace that impact. And so that was like the three main areas that I wanted to focus in on, wanted to really make for the players, and build something for the players, by the players. And myself being a player, who else would have a better perspective than myself to be able to create something like this? So I really look at, like, as we continue to build, like, shoe one was all about building a mid-cut shoe that made sense in the market space, something different. But then as we go into shoe number two, like a low cut that kind of fits, the narrative of, like, hey, being able to have something on the court, off the court. But how most kids are wearing the shoes now. They want something loud, they want something flashy, they want something that stands out. And so that's why I'm just trying to get the shoes in front of many people as I can, because most people, they know about the brand, but it's still teaching and making them understand that, hey, look, we're just not no fly by overnight brand. We're here for a reason, and we're going to continue to be here for a reason, because we're creating something it's not in the sense of like, hey, this is a shoe that's $100 shoe that we just threw together, but it's something that, hey, we wanted to make sure that it's the best fit, best shoe, and the best quality for all these kids growing up in this world now. And that's for men and women, not just all boys, but this shoe is for women basketball players as well.
So what you're saying is this ain't that Al Harrington and Steven Jackson shoe that was in Kmart.
No, it is not that. It is not that. Because everybody's like, well, why are you not in stores? Why are you not in stores? The retail space, it's not where it's at. That's not where it's at no more. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, like, it's great for a lot of people like that want to feel, touch, and see the shoe, but it's like, nah, man, like, that's retail space is gone. Like, you gotta trust in these brands. Like, not saying you have to trust in every single brand, but I feel like my brand ethics and what I've created, I know what I'm creating, I know how to do this, and I want everybody to see, like, hey, what we have going on with wear testers. Like, he was able to review the shoe. Kyrie Irving has worn our shoe. Like, we have people Absolutely. That are being testaments of the shoe and talking about the shoe, and that's not saying like, all right, I'm gonna call this person, hey, I need you to make do this for me. This is just off the strength of them just getting the shoe and then putting it on. Like, I'm not telling them to say all this. I'm like, look, we're just going organically and just continue to build and watching it grow. That's it.
Hey, explain to us what you had just said by you're the first to do a cut and sew shoe.
Yeah, so I'm a pioneer in the space of creating a brand. There's been others that have done it, but they've had backing. It's been like, hey, look, it's a shoe with a brand behind you. So I'm a pioneer in the space of it's just me and my wife. We are the founders. We are the CEOs, the COOs, the everything. Any and everything. We have 3 or 4 people on our team, the social media team. We have a creative and lead director for design, and that's it. Like it's only us. It's only 5 of us, and so we've been building. Like me and the wife, we ship out everything. Like that's why I hand sign every single letter that goes out, especially when I'm back in town, and ship them out to all our customers. And that's a personal letter because as an athlete, as an NBA player that has played in the league and continue to enjoy this journey of playing, you won't ever get another signed letter or anything that's from an athlete, an NBA athlete, or any athlete in general that's made by them, built by them, and handwritten by that player. And so that's why I want to make sure that our brand is all about being personable, being able to be, direct to consumer. Like that's what we want. We want that back and forth. We don't want where it's a middleman or something like that. But that's what we're creating, and that's what we just continue to do.
Let me ask you this, because you talking to 2 creatives too. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been doing this since '91. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So how did you come up with your design, and what does your logo? Is that the logo on your shoe, and what does that mean? Give us that.
Yeah. So breaking down the shoe, like I said, I wanted to bring back that nostalgic feel. There's been a number of shoes that I've worn over the years that.
From what era? From what era? You see him, Will? He ain't telling us where he done pulled from.
See, I
Will.
can't say all that. I can't say all that.
He said, I just got some nostalgia that I'm bringing into the modern era.
That's it. Yeah, I ain't gonna give away the backstory. You're gonna have to wait till another day, and maybe a personable, in person talk. But just going back in the archives and finding some stuff that'll be like, man, like, why didn't we could use this, or we could pick this, or what I like this, and so we picked and choose different things that we like and we don't like from different brands, and we've said, all right, well, how can we make it in our own? And that's what we've done. Like we built that from scratch. We've built a tech pack. It took about I'd probably say it took about 6 to 8 months, like the first shoe, because we didn't know where we were at. We didn't know, a factory to be in. We didn't know all the different intricate pieces. It's a lot that goes into it. People don't realize it. People just think like, oh man, tomorrow I'm gonna go find a factory. I'm gonna go find it. It's gonna all come together. Nah, that's not how it works. It takes time.
Hey, L, tell me how many molds y'all had to have to create different molds for different sizes.
So we so when it came to like the prototypes and all that, it took us about probably say about 12 to 14. It didn't take that many. The factory did a really good job of like looking at the tech pack and then going right from the tech pack and putting it so the tech pack that explain to a normal day person. A tech pack is basically taking a sheet of paper, just a blank sheet of paper, and being able to write out exactly what this piece means, what this goes into, the details of how this line might go right here, and break down the shoe. So that's taking it from a 2D visual to making it to a 3D, which is holding in hand, being able to actually feel it, touch it, move it, making sure it all it's all together. So we took it from there. I was able to get 3, 4, maybe 5 samples of just one shoe. So that's a prototype is like, hey, look, you're just getting one sample of the shoe, one left foot, and you try that left foot on. If it feels good, great. If it doesn't, then you have to tell them, hey, look, we need to change this, change that, change this. It took, like I said, about 10 to 15 times, like in that range, where we were just going back and forth. We were talking to the factory, and at the time while I was doing all this, COVID was going on, so I had a little time, but not a lot of time. So I was trying to do my best. All Zooms, phone, FaceTimes, calls, you name it, we were doing it. And so as we did that, we finally got a good piece back. I said, hey, look, let's just move forward. Put both, got the left and the right foot now. Put it on court. I was like, I think we got some. And so, then we built from there, and just as time has went on, we just trying to find ways to just continue to change the narrative, because you don't see many cut and sew shoes today, because everything is manufactured by machines and a lot of plastics, a lot of different things that just thrown into the shoe. But that was our biggest thing. Like I said, me being organic, me being a vegan, I wanted to make sure that it was a story of myself and not just about just, hey, look, we're throwing another shoe into the marketplace.
The color of your shoes even look vegan.
Yep. Yeah.
The Agee, the G2 Ethics, the edition, the mid joint.
Yep.
I'm liking that joint.
Explain the sole of the shoe.
Yeah, so I'll explain the logo and the sole. So this logo, it breaks down 3 parts. So you got determination, you have the hard work, you have and not necessarily in that order, but just breaking it down. So everything that I stand for, the sacrifice, determination, everything that I've been through in life, it all breaks down in this shoe. And so I wanted to, not saying on the sense of like, hey, look, this is, it's an E. Like if you look at the logo, it's an E. But I have done celebrations in the past where, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a celebration, but I wanted to make it different where, what is a 3 backwards, E, even in the more simpler terms. And like I said, that's where it goes into, what I'm all about, like my determination, my sacrifice, my hard work, my family, like, everything that embodies myself. Like that's what really I wanted to put into this brand. And that's why it kind of has that like kind of breakdown into the logo. And then going into the outsole, we wanted to put the most money into the outsole. The shoe is higher. I'll say this, it's higher than most brands and what they're creating with the price wise. Like if you look at the quality of our shoe and the quality of another shoe, our quality is way higher than most shoes out there. The most important part of the shoe for me is the outsole, because I'm always cutting. I'm flying around the court. I'm, playing defense. I'm moving my feet. There's a lot of, I'm a guard, so I got to do everything. And so that was the biggest part, where I wanted to make sure it was sturdy, make sure that when a person's in the shoe, they feel comfortable. When they're stopping, they feel like they have that traction, making sure the traction on the bottom is more so like, and we explained it not so much on a sense of like, hey, where it's like grooves and nothing like that, but we wanted it to be flat, wanted to be like a sports car, like, like a F1, like where, they go fast by, just the friction, that you don't need all the traction, the grooves and all that. So that was our biggest thing. Like, hey, let's get something that tire, when you hit the ground, you're rolling, you're able to go. And so that was our biggest thing with the bottom, with the sole. And then, like I said, from the outsole, going from there, we wanted to make sure we had enough cushioning, enough like support for when you're landing. Like I said, absorbing that jump up in the air and into the ground. We wanted to make sure that absorption is going to be the best for your foot, and make sure, hey, you're going to be safe and comfortable.
Speaking my language. Boy, you speaking my language.
And most of the time, LG, when we going up for rebounds, we come down not flat-footed, but on a ball of our feet.
Yep.
And let me tell you, I done blew up the LG 2 Ethics, and 3 things that stick out to me is the suede that you use, and the design in the leather, like it's got them little circle, like it's like a little circle design like that, and the wording of anywhere, everywhere on the side of the suede at the toe part.
Yep.
Who came up with that?
Yeah, so we came up with that kind of like mantra, From
That's very different. I just want to let you know, by the way.
Yep. We came with that mantra because we just feel like it doesn't matter where you're at in the world or what you have going on or who you are, anywhere
Mm-hmm.
and everywhere, really. Like that's where you can feel like, hey, you're at your best. That's your ethics. You know, you're however you were raised, however you were brought into this world, or however you felt like, man, I created. You know, not saying you created yourself like this, but you, hey, that this is how I was raised and brought up, and how the nature of my family is, and this is how I want to be perceived. That's who you are. You know, that's your ethics. That's what you lay your head on the pillow at nighttime and say, man, I did a good job today. Or, man, I had a tough day today. I got to be better tomorrow. Like that's what you have to lay your head on every single night, knowing these specific pieces. And so that's why ethics is more so about your work ethic. But, you know, in the whole scheme of it, you know, your ethics, you know, it relates to your whole being, not just, you know, hey, how you know, work on the court. It's how you work in the office space, how that translates to, you know, your daily life. How do you carry yourself, you know, interacting with people? Like, you know, it's every single step of the way. Like everything connects to each other. And so that's where I think our brand has really changed the narrative, and it's going to continue to change the narrative of like that connectivity of like, we want to be that brand that when you come to us and you want to be the best you can be,
Mm-hmm.
you can outlier. You can be that outlier, because it's not saying, hey, this is my brand and then this is my shoe. This is just saying, hey, this is you being a part of our brand, and this is you being able to tell your own story, because I don't have the same story as you. You might have a different story than I do, but your story might be impactful, and we want to be able to push that narrative and showcase, say, look, this is what you did. Wow, like, man, look what you accomplished. Or, hey, this female is doing something way bigger than what I did, but with this shoe that you have on, you can tell a bigger story. It's like, that's all I continue to say. It's like, for the players and by the players. That's the only thing I want to continue to do, and give that um, give that ownership back to the players, because I think that along the way we've lost that. We lost that as a, I don't know, I don't want to say a generation, but I just think that as time has went on and these brands have done, you know, X, Y, and Z, I think that back and forth.
Well, I mean, we lost it. We've sold out. We sold our souls to the sneaker companies, bro. Like, for real, the AAU game. I mean, they just sold our souls for sneakers and gear and all that. So I applaud you for coming out with your own brand, man. I know.
Not just his own brand. The fact, man, that you are what you're doing, and this is just my perspective on it, LG. You stepping also too, man, into that role of hero, young African American entrepreneur, give our young African American kids something to look up and say, man, he started his own brand. He, he figured it out. You and your wife, y'all figured that thing out. And I was thinking about when you were saying ethics, and I was thinking about in life how we just live on all these different streets of life. Like, you live on the religious street, whatever that may be. You live in your family street, whatever that is, like that's your life. You live in the wellness street, you live in the arts and media street, there's so many streets, government streets, we live in the business streets. It's like your shoe is like more than just a shoe. It's like encompassing life. Like, you're telling a story
Mm-hmm.
in your brand. And it's almost like what you're telling people is, I need you to find your story.
That's
Whatever
it.
your story is, you find your story,
Mm-hmm.
but find your story in these here, man. I love what you're doing, man. Shout out to you and your wife. I know we didn't get an opportunity to talk to you about your wife and how y'all partner about that,
Mm-hmm.
but we've had you for so long, man. Listen, my man got one final question for you, but again, I just want to thank you for being on the podcast today, man. I'm excited that you joined us today, and I can't wait to see more colorways for the LG2. But say this, let everybody know how they can get the LG1 or the LG2 and just the gear. How can they get that information?
Yeah, go check us out, ethicsthebrand.com. We have everything on there. Ethics the Brand, all our socials. And then, hey, be in tune. Like, we have a email chain that we do send out weekly updates. We have a ton of stuff on the way. So yeah, be in tune. I mean, if you want to find myself, Langston Galloway 10 on all social media platforms, and then I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm glad to be a part of this, and continue to, get everybody out there to have the ethics on.
If people trying to find you on social media, I know you just gave it to us. How you spell that?
Lang and then Galloway, Galloway 1010.
Yeah, I gotta go follow my man.
I just want to say from the heart, Arthur Agee, man, respect and love. And got one last question for you. What's the next chapter in Langston Galloway's hoop dream?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. If the NBA comes back calling, I'll be, more than excited to be back in there, start on year 9. But, if it doesn't come calling, I'll be overseas. I will be overseas playing.
There you go. You heard it first.
I'll tell you this, man, whatever's next in your hoop dreams, man, we already know that success will be ridden with it. So, man, again, shout out to you. Make sure y'all get your Ethics gym shoes. We gonna get our Ethics gym shoes because I'm loving the concept. Proud, man. The fact that, Doc, man, you and your wife, man, y'all.
Thank you.
Man, that's huge, man.
I'm the gold of my era. I've been a trending topic. I'm as fly as a feather. My pocket's macroscopic. See, with time I get better. I'm always in the action, kid. Know I got it locked from Chicago where the toughest live. Concrete jungle, earn my stripes on the pavement there. You make it here, then you can make it anywhere. No comparison. Your game is embarrassing. No one can touch me. I'm all for going there again. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me.
Hoop Dreams, the podcast, an Unlearning Network production. Written and produced by Arthur Agee, Will Gates, Matt Hoffar, with audio engineering from Matt Savage. For more episodes, check us out at www.unlearningnetwork.com.
Gotta be a dog to survive in this cold weather. Ice in my veins, no need for a warm sweater. I'm coming for it all, best believe I won't let up, yeah. Hey, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me.